So it's very interesting because it is indeed connected to the theme, connected to what you were saying as well. A lot of people nowadays, they talk about happiness and purpose in a very confined way. So my purpose is to X, Y, Z. In this year, 2024, it has been quite transformational for me in many aspects. Purpose is something that I kept thinking about for the past year, even longer, but this year has been a great transformation for me. Who of you have ever thought about purpose in the last month? This month. Nice. Today?
I've spoken about
Nice. Well, so purpose has a definition. So if you go and check and try to check the definition of purpose, what is a purpose? You will see that it has two main modes of translating or defining the word. It has a historical understanding or mode of explanation, and it has a future. In the past, you would want to figure out the purpose or the reason for why things happen in a mode of reflection. And then for the future, it's in the way of direction and aim, intentional aiming or direction that you want to achieve. And then again, it goes on three different modes. So you could look at it from a bigger perspective, smaller and then smaller. Now, if you think about purpose and, well, I got a blackout there. So if you, the purpose of having an awareness of the two definitions is because it makes it easier for the person to plan ahead. So one of the reasons why would you want to have the purpose is because it's a quote by somebody who said, if you aim at anything, you will hit. If you aim at nothing, you will hit anything, and that could be virtuous. And it could be very ugly, because a lot of people, they end up living their life aiming at nothing, and they will have a very dissatisfied life, and that's some of the things that you would want to eliminate basically from your life. The second thing is, it's related to motivation. So the amount of motivation that you will get during the day is very directly connected to the sense of purpose that you have with your daily activities, etc. And that's something that I noticed in the last year. Like I mean, let's say in the last 10 years, I have changed my schedule from a night owl to a day, like I wake up very early in the morning. And it wasn't very hard. It's just like I was supposed to get a purpose to wake up. And it's very beautiful because having a purposeful life is very different, especially if you think about it from the three different modes that I just briefly mentioned. We have the macro, so in total, where are we going as humanity? So you could link yourself to a bigger goal, and that is something that a lot of people talk about in a way that you would have figure out the meso purpose of your life, and then also the micro. So if you connect it to a bigger goal, a bigger purpose, you would have a more purposeful life. And next to that, yeah, it's a physical, psychological you would alter your physical and spiritual and emotional being in a way that is uncomprehendable, how you would have had your life if you didn't live on purpose. And the only way to actually know the difference is by coming from a purposeless life. So basically, if you are unable to figure out a purpose, of course you can have a mentor who is somebody that you could actually look up to. And this is very beautiful that we have in Toastmasters, so like the ability to actually get a mentor to talk to. But then it's also integral for us to pursue a mentor. Somebody who you would admire, somebody who's at least 20, 30 years older than you, and he or she been through things that you would like to go through. They would give you a sense of purpose and or a higher sense of purpose, where you're going. So that's basically living with purpose versus living without purpose. The negative sides of not having a purpose, well, we could imagine a lot of people, in the worst case scenario, they end up basically suiciding, and that's why you have increasing rates of suicide in very wealthy countries, actually, which is something very interesting. Like, how would you suicide if you had everything provided for you? Well, it's very simple, because you don't have, well, one of the explanations of course, many different explanations, but then one of it is that you don't have a purpose. You're not living up to something that is much greater than you, that you're completely consumed with. Of course, many people might disagree with that, but then in general, having a purposeful life is something that will make your life much easier, especially if your purpose is connected to a higher purpose. Now, this was the reason why I want to talk to you a little bit about purpose, because I had a whole transformation, like I mentioned in the beginning, and it was something that I very much would like to share with anybody who is interested in going to a transformation. And it's so beautiful that you guys also thought about purpose today. I was thinking like, yeah, maybe if I say a year, it will sound good, but then a month today, that's very beautiful. I appreciate that. Being around people who think about that as well is interesting. So I hope for the ones who didn't raise their hands, I hope that echoed something in your consciousness to think about a purpose, a higher purpose, if you have a smaller purpose, to grow it. And I hope that you will achieve it before you meet the God or the universe. So, thank you.